This is my comprehensive top 10 tips and tricks that you fundamentally need to know in order to save time and get to grips with Palworld and some of the complexities within it. But before we get into our top 10, let me quickly tell you exactly what the game is about and how you progress through it. Palworld at its core is a survival game where you need to manage your hunger, collect materials, craft various things, build your ranch and defeat world bosses. In the early game, you tend to focus more around the collection of wood and stone and other resources that will then be used to craft various objects for your ranch as you level up. But the most appealing part of the game are the pals themselves. These pals can be used for combat or simply to help around the base and help alleviate the burden of this resource farming, and each one has unique abilities that can help do all of the above quickly and more efficiently. You do this by looking at their skills, and some of them will increase certain jobs by 50%, so keep an eye out for that. Not only that, but pals will help you defeat bosses and progress further throughout the game. So now you're well versed on how the game works, and here are the 10 beginner tips that you'll need to know before getting started. So first of all, building. I kind of learnt this from Lego Fortnite, but this definitely translates over into Palworld. You ideally want to find the flattest bit of ground to start building on, and the reason for this is having an uneven ground can be super annoying when it comes to building complex structures a bit later on. So tip number 1 is avoiding the urge to instantly build your base where you start. In addition, you'll want to unlock the fast travel pods, which can be indicated by an eagle on the map. Another really cool way to locate these is when the game cycles between day and night, you can see these like red fire statues, which are like orange glows. And when you interact with them, in the future, you'll be able to fast travel there. And I would say this is the best way to get around, especially in early game when you're a lower level, before you unlock a mount, of course, which we'll cover a bit later on. Number 2, resource gathering. Like I mentioned earlier in point 1, whilst looking for an ideal spot on the map to start building your ranch, you will need to pay particular attention to this option in the menu. Within the menu, you will see a weight option. This limits how much you can carry at any one point. I find myself constantly going overweight, which in turn makes you move extremely slow, and in extreme cases, you can't move at all, and then often led to me dying and having to go so far across the map to retrieve my backpack. But fear not, I also have a tip for this later on. So anyway, what I decided to do was, as my player leveled, I used my player points to enhance my weight stat, which meant I could carry more wood and stone in my backpack until I found my ideal plot of land that I wanted to start building on. This was when I started to do the next part, which is building technology and what order to unlock them in. Number 3, technology. So when you level up as a player, not only do you start to unlock player points to enhance your stats, you also unlock technology points. These technology points allow you to start to craft important structures such as primitive workbench, which you'll then use to create the following items. A stone axe. This can be used to collect wood faster by chopping down trees. A stone pickaxe, which you can use to collect palladium fragment and stones. Handheld torch to warm up you as a player when you get cold. A wooden club to hit pals down to low health before you throw the next item at them. And that is a pal sphere. This is basically the same as a pokeball. As the pals get lower in health, you throw this at them to capture them, but more on pals a bit later on. Then you have these ancient technology points where you can get items like the Statue of Power, where you can upgrade your skills using Effigy, which is like this green resource that can be found around the map. The skills that can be upgraded are capture strength, which makes catching pals that all bit easier. Or you can use the pal souls, which can be obtained throughout the world, and these can be used to upgrade your pal's strength and attributes. Ancient technology points are obtained by defeating a tower boss, which will give you a lot of points. But also there are named bosses in the open world which can be found on the map, such as Chile or the Mamorust, both of which can be found by icons on the map. Oh, and by the way, don't try to defeat the level 38 Mamorus boss when you're a low level yourself. I tried this and failed miserably. Number 4, the PAL box. The PAL box is probably the most important part of the game. This is the part of the base that will allow you to progress through Palworld. Each time you approach the PAL box, you'll have various missions to complete. And as you complete the missions, you'll unlock more items and more slots for your pals to work at your base. And in theory, this makes resource collection and building faster and easier. But be mindful, some pals are a lot more useful than others, and my next point will indicate the ones to look out for. Number 5, pals. For active abilities, one of the best pals to get early on is Fox Parks. And the reason for this is when a player reaches level 6, you're able to buy a harness which will enable you to use Fox Park as a flamethrower. And this is a really strong ability that will help you defeat bosses and higher level pals across the map at the beginning. I'll use this particular skill to defeat the first boss, Chile. In addition, a good pal to get to accompany Fox Park is Daydream. Their passive ability allows them to follow you around and add to your attack when going against enemy pals. But like Fox Park, you will need to unlock the necklace and craft it in order to get the most out of this pal. Another key pal to get early game is Vixie. If you can put them to work in the ranch, they will dig up 3 pal spheres over time. This can make it really easy to catch 10 of a kind of each pal in order to make the most out of the boosted XP by doing so. In terms of pals for your base, you will want some varied work suitability pals. The main ones I found were watering, gathering, farming and planting. This way you can plant some berries and get your pals to keep producing food to ensure they keep working. Number 6, mounts. So when you first start, you don't have the luxury of fast traveling everywhere, as you've not yet explored and activated the ports on each location. And there's no doubt you'll want to get around the map faster than your sprint allows. The good news, at level 7, you unlock the Melpacker's saddle, which allows you to mount on Melpacker once you have caught one. But honestly, the best early game mount is the Ultra Deer, which you can get at level 12. And just like the Melpacker, you will need to unlock the Ultra Deer saddle, which you can then craft and use an elk to get around the map faster. But there is an additional benefit, as once they're equipped, they can actually flatten your enemies as well. Number 7, sound cues to listen out for. If you're anything like me, I play with my sound off when I'm playing single player games. I'm often just listening to music or chilling in Discord with a few friends. However, there are a few sound cues in this game that can alert you to some of the rarest pals in the game. You hear this type of like shining bell sound, but be careful when you find these on the map, as they have increased health and take a while to defeat. And if you do manage to catch them though, they do come with enhanced skills such as faster working ability. Number 8, Effigy. Now I touched on this earlier, but these can be found all around the map. These can easily be seen at night by green shining lights, or by just exploring and bumping into them. But be sure to get everyone you see, as these are used to increase your strength in capturing or to level your pals up further. You can only do this by approaching the statue that can be found here on the map. But once you defeat a few bosses, you can actually craft a statue yourself, meaning you can upgrade them in your base. Number 9. Another tip is you can capture different creatures at night than you can in the day. And this is useful to know if you want to try capture all the pals that this game offers. And number 10. Probably saving the best till last. And this is the backpack setting. As mentioned earlier, one of the best things about this game is you can customize the game truly how you want. And one of the things I hated early on is that when I was exploring the map and I died, I would then have to travel miles just to pick my backpack back up. And this was very time consuming. So what I did was I turned this setting off in the menu, and now I don't have to worry about it at all. Every time I die, I will start back at my base with all my items and just continue enjoying this beautiful world. Now, I hope you find this video helpful, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be covering plenty more stuff on this fantastic game that is Palworld. Until the next one, peace.